Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack and this is your latest Manchester United news, and we've got big breaking news in the last maybe hour or so. Marcus Rashford has been speaking about his future at Manchester United to Henry Winters in the Times. Major breaking news. He has said that he is ready to leave Manchester United. Absolutely huge news. And we're going to jump straight into it and discuss, guys, everything he said. It's a pretty big interview, to be quite honest with you, but we'll speak about the main talking points of it. I want to know what you guys think about this more than anything else. Let me know in the comment section what you make of this timely interview by Marcus Rashford. And I'll let you know, of course, my opinions on it as well. Please do smash a like on the video, guys, if you haven't done so already. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. On the road to 13,000 subscribers. We're trying to get there before New Year's. So if you can, do hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out an awful lot. But like I said, get your comments in below. Major breaking news. Let's jump straight into it, guys. There's been some serious updates. Rashford says he's ready to leave Manchester United after being left out of the Manchester Derby. Now, it's not because he was left out of the Manchester Derby. It's after he was left out of the Manchester Derby. So, getting straight into it. Henry Winter from the Times, so rock solid source here. He says that Marcus Rashford was asked whether he is staying or leaving at Manchester United, and he said, "For me personally, I think I'm ready for a new challenge and the next steps. When I leave, it's going to be no hard feelings. You're not going to have any negative comments from me about Manchester United. That's me as a person. If I know that a situation is already bad, I'm not going to make it worse. I've seen how other players have left in the past, and I don't want to be that person. When I leave, I'll make a statement, and it will be from me." He goes on to say, "I'm halfway through my career. I don't expect my peak to be now. I've had 9 years so far in the Premier League, and that's taught me a lot. That's helped me grow as a player and as a person. So I don't have any regrets from the last 9 years. I won't have any regrets going forward because I take things day by day. And sometimes bad things happen, sometimes good things happen. I just try to keep a fine balance. The best is yet to come, 100%. That's my mentality." There we go. Big statement. Big statement. I mean, it's huge, to be honest. And look, I mean, there's going to be negativity surrounding this statement and the time at which it comes out, you know. Now, look, I mean, in Rashford's defence here, okay, over the last couple of days, there has been quite substantial rumours coming out of Manchester United that they are willing to part ways with him. So, I mean, has he rang up Henry Winters and gone, "Here, boss man, I'm ready to speak, you know what I mean, get your arse up to Manchester," or you know, now he was doing what would you call it? He was giving Christmas gifts to students at his school, part of the charity work that he does today. And obviously Henry Winters has probably been there covering it, and then he's asked him questions about this and so on and so forth. It's a fairly in-depth interview, to be quite honest with you. You can go and read it on the Times if you want. However, I'm at ease. I'm at ease with this. I won't lie. I think the fact that Rashford has come out and said this, that he wants a new challenge and he's ready for the next steps, is a bit of a relief, to be quite honest with you, because I spoke in depth about, you know, the amount of money that Marcus Rashford is on. He's probably not going to get that anywhere else. He's well entitled to sit in and, you know, see out the remainder of his contract if he wants to, and he doesn't have to leave. He does not have to leave. He's a Manchester lad. He born and raised in the area, doesn't have to move away from Manchester if he doesn't want. He's got 3 or 4 years left on his current deal, 3.5 years, whatever the case may be. You know, it's quite substantial, all of these points. But the fact that he's come out and said, "I'm ready for a new challenge and the next steps," is absolutely mind-blowing, to be honest with you. And I'm kind of happy about it, if I'm being honest. I think it's best for all parties if United and Rashford go their separate ways. You know, we've spoke, and this is nothing based. I don't give a shit about him going to basketball games. I don't care what he wears. I don't care if he has, you know, silver or gold fake teeth put in. Doesn't bother me. None of that bothers me. Everything I base my opinions about Marcus Rashford have to do with Manchester United and how he performs on the pitch. And if some of the off-field antics affect his performances on the pitch, then that's where the criticism will come from me. You know, I have said countless times, I want Marcus Rashford, and still in some ways still do want Marcus Rashford to be the main man at Manchester United, to be scoring all the goals, to be our talisman, to be a future captain. It's not going to happen. It's over now. It's absolutely over. Yeah, and it's a shame. It's a real shame, to be quite honest with you. Let's see what people are in the chat are saying. Dylan with the super chat. Appreciate the support again, my man. Do you think Amorim should manage Rashford's minutes in case he gets injured or plays very good, or to where we can sell him then? Well, look, I don't think Ruben Amorim is going to really mind whether this comes out or not. And not that he is going to mind a little bit, because it's noise, it's background noise. However, I don't think Rashford coming out with this statement or this interview is going to change Ruben Amorim's opinion on him and how he's going to use him, to be honest. I think Ruben Amorim has got a dossier now on pretty much every player within that Manchester United squad, and he's got an idea on who he can rely on, who he can play, based on how they train, how they perform in game days, how they react to not getting game time, how they react to, you know, being a substitute. I mean, part of me is a little bit let down on the flip side by this interview, because, you know, Ruben Amorim leaves Marcus Rashford out of the squad entirely against Manchester City. A little bit of me was saying, right, well, I want to see a response from Rashford. I want to see right, well, I'll fucking show you, you know. And he goes out and scores a load of goals, but it doesn't. You know, we've got an interview from him, so it's a shame. But I don't think it's going to change. To answer your question, Dylan, I don't think it's going to change Ruben Amorim's outlook on how he's going to use him, or potentially how he wants to, you know, he's going to use Marcus Rashford again, 100% he is, and he should use him to whatever capacity he sees fit. You know what I mean? Mark says, enough is enough. Glad to see he's leaving. Christopher says, United need to get rid of Rashford. He's not good enough anymore. D says, oh no, anyway, sayonara, bye-bye, cheerio. Want a lift free of charge. Multi-millionaire jogging around the pitch and his heart's not in it, then won't train well. Give us a shite spice bag instead. Yeah, look, I mean, there is going to be criticism there, and there has been a lot of criticism there. And I go back to what I said last night. I think a lot of the criticism and the reason for the criticism being so heavy on Marcus Rashford is because I think we want him to do well so badly as a fan base. You know, there's not a Manchester United fan out there that doesn't want Marcus Rashford to do well for Manchester United, that is, you know. And I think a lot of the reasons for the criticism is down to the fact that, you know, we're just disappointed that he's not doing it, you know. He was the definition of deadwood, says Mark. Finn says, why would he have anything bad to say about the club? He's been below par in all but one season of his career. Good luck to you. D also says, if he loves the club so much, he cannot just leave in January and post a bye-bye instead of running this media attention up. Benefits personally from me, the badge again. The one thing I would say about Rashford is that he's always had good PR around him, in fairness to him. He's got a good PR team with him. He's looking to... And look, I mean, he's well within his rights to do this. He's looking to preserve his reputation here as well. Because if he's obviously going to be ending his stay at Manchester United, I think he's been at United for 20 years, he's going to want to, you know, come out and be seen as a professional. You know, I want to do well. I'm there to, you know, if the manager wants me, I'm available, so on and so forth. You know, he wants to get a move to a club that's challenging for things, whether that be in England or whether that be abroad. You know, I don't think Marcus Rashford wants to go to Saudi Arabia. If he does, then, you know, I don't think too many of us would be surprised. Especially with the type of money that they're throwing around out there. But I think that's come down a little bit as well since, you know, the opening year or two where, you know, everybody was, you know, I could have signed for a team in Saudi Arabia on $250,000. They just didn't know who I was. Damn it. You know, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Finn says he loves money more than the club. Well, look, I mean, when we're talking about money and Marcus Rashford in the same sentence, it's going to be very important. It's going to be very important because Marcus Rashford is on 360 grand a week at Manchester United. The only place he could realistically get that kind of money is Saudi Arabia. Now, is he going to go to Saudi Arabia? Like I said, I would be surprised if he does. Outside of that, Barcelona can't afford him. Real Madrid don't need him. Juventus, could they afford him? Probably. Would they spend 50 million on him and give him 250 grand a week? Probably not, to be honest with you. Germany, Bayern Munich don't pay that kind of money to anybody. So PSG have distanced themselves from Rashford as early as the summer transfer window just gone. I still think, regardless of Marcus Rashford saying he's ready for a new challenge and Manchester United saying that they're happy to let him go, I still think it's going to be very difficult to find a suitor for Marcus Rashford. I honestly do. I think the finances, unless Rashford is ready to drastically cut his salary, then I don't see a simple solution to this. I really don't. I really, really don't. Unless United take a cut down, a knockdown price on him. Other than that, I just don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't. FPL Phenom is in. He says, my hope now after that statement is that we could find a move for him in January. Worry is that the list of clubs that could afford him, his wages is going to be very small, and would they even want him? Exactly. And the thing about it is, as well, January ain't the time to be going out and spending 50 million on a player. It basically never happens. Them kind of deals are always kept to the summer because you're into the new financial year and so on and so forth. A lot of clubs and a lot of teams tend to put all of their eggs in the summer transfer window basket when it comes to FBL and PSR and so on and so forth. And January then is a bit of a fire sale, where you can get rid of a couple of players to bring yourself back in line with FFP. So what club is going to come out and spend 50 million on Rashford? Reports during the week were suggesting anywhere between 40 and 55 million is what Man United are going to be looking for. I think it's going to be difficult. But I do agree. I mean, we said last night, and look, if it's a permanent deal, then great. I don't want to see a loan deal. I said last night on the live, loan deals for me are a waste of time. And I understand that, Marcus Rashford is probably not going to be the greatest. He's not going to be the greatest person to be around in the dressing room with all of this stuff coming out, to be quite honest with you. I'm not saying his attitude is going to be stink, but we've seen him on the field and we've seen him look completely disinterested playing for Manchester United over the last 18 months before any of this came out. So what's it going to be like now? So I think United probably do need to push for a full sale in January, in my opinion. Now, I go back to, again, what I said last night. I do think if he stays, he'll be used. And, he will probably score goals. You know what I mean? Not an awful lot. But the more he scores, the better for us. So we just have to wait and see what happens. Heard rumours that Al Ittihad are in for Rashi. Yeah, I mean, that I've seen them rumours as well. Again, it's whether he wants to go to Saudi Arabia or not. Is he willing to pretty much say, right, that's my career done, I'm not winning anything else? Because once you go to Saudi Arabia, you don't come back. You don't come back. I mean, name me a player that has gone to Saudi Arabia and left it and gone on to, win leagues around Europe or challenge for Champions Leagues and so on and so forth. I just don't think it happens. Young Sauce, welcome to the Members Club. Appreciate the support, my man. Absolute legend. Welcome to the Members Club. Anyone else wants to join as an official member, guys, hit the join button down below. Link is in the description as well. It supports the channel an awful lot, so I appreciate it as always, guys. D says we'd be challenging for things if he'd stop fucking jogging and throwing a tantrum off the park every third game. Passat says Garnacho has won the Puskás. He has, yeah. Garnacho wins the Puskás Awards for the greatest goal scored in the last 12 months for that overhead kick against Everton, so congratulations to him. Dylan says, Jack, we could offload him to Napoli. They've seen Scotty be a success at the heart of their midfield this season. Maybe Scott could put in a good word. They couldn't afford him, Dylan, to be honest with you. They're not going to be able to afford him. Wages, yeah. Transfer fee, yeah. Rick says, be honest, fella, he wouldn't get in a Sunday league team. I'm on minimum wage. I'm well better. Just never followed up. I think, all right, whatever. We're not going to go down through all of this stuff. Yeah, so anyway, there we go. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Manchester United do on the back of this as well. And we have had reports, again, I'm not sure of the source on this. A journalist from, I don't know where, but yeah, a number of different Man United outlets have been, I suppose, forwarding and retweeting it, saying that Man United do not want to comment on whether they knew in advance about Marcus Rashford's interview and statements. Look, this will come out eventually, and I think the reason for that is Ruben Amorim is going to get asked about this. It's going to be question number one in his pre-match interview for the Spurs game on Thursday. It just is, you know what I mean? So we'll find out sooner or later whether United knew about this or not. And yeah, look, I mean, did they know? I mean, the fact that it was such a high-profile interview with Henry Winter out at the Times, I'm sure United had some rumblings about it, to be honest with you. And maybe they knew it was coming. So maybe United got out ahead of it over the last couple of days and have been saying, you know, we're open to moving Marcus Rashford on. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But I think it'll take care of itself over the next few days. Dylan with the super chat says, Jack, Rashford could be the turning point in Amorim's success. Look at Arteta at Arsenal. Everyone hated his choices to drop Aubameyang. Did it succeed? Yeah, well, see, the thing about Arsenal and Aubameyang and Arteta is that the last time Arteta won something with Arsenal, Aubameyang was there. He hasn't won that since. But I know what you're saying, Dylan. It absolutely makes sense that, you know, we spoke last night and we seen the report suggesting that Jim Radcliffe and Ruben Amorim are saying that, well, not saying, but the reason for the break with Marcus Rashford is the cultural reset. You know, players who want to work hard, players who want to, you know, be determined, players who want to show interest, players who live their life correctly, you know, no off-field distractions. These are all things that are very important for Ruben Amorim and for Jim Radcliffe and the hierarchy at Manchester United. And Marcus Rashford doesn't portray them traits at the moment. You know, there's a lot of off-field to and fro with him, and it's a shame. It is a shame. One person tell me what he has actually done good. Well, he scored 30 goals in one season, so that Rashford has had some, you know, good moments in a Manchester United shirt. You know what I mean? He has, you know, I mean, breaking onto the scene at the time under Louis van Gaal was absolutely fantastic. Scoring in the derby against City in his first season. You know, he's got some important goals for us, in fairness to him. And you know, the issue with Marcus Rashford has always been consistency, and that's the problem. So I'm not gonna get too into you know, disrespecting him or anything like that. He's obviously lost interest in playing for Manchester United, and maybe not lost interest. I don't think he's losing interest in playing for Manchester United. I think, look, he's a Manchester United fan. I just think his head is not in the right place. He's obviously going through a difficult time in his life, maybe. We don't know what's going on off the scenes, off the pitch. So, yeah, I mean, you know, there has been highlights and there has been good moments as a Manchester United player. They've just been too few and far between. That's the problem. Ben says, no player is bigger than the club. I've been a big supporter of Rashford. Let's just move on and carry on. There you go. Absolutely. Corey says, and the press conference is at 9 a.m. Is that tomorrow? Anyway, we'll see. Let's see. Dean says, just seems strange how the statements came out after all the stories about two players being questioned over team leaking. Yeah, I mean, again, these are things that we won't really know. and it'll all be speculation more than anything else, won't it? Because, like I just said a moment ago, did United know that his interview was coming, and they got out ahead of it and started, maybe putting some things to the media that, were open to selling Rashford and get out ahead of it? I don't know. These are things that we can speculate and that we can, of course, discuss and have a chat about, but ultimately we won't know. The only thing we will know, and the only thing we do know at the moment, is that United are open to selling Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford wants a new challenge, and that's all we need to know. And it's all anybody needs to know for us to go, know that Fast and Furious clip when they're driving off up the opposite direction on the roads. Yeah, so that's Rashford and Manchester United at the moment, unfortunately. Garnacho won't see the pitch again anytime soon, and now Rashford out. We're rooting out the shite in that dressing room. Look, let's take a minute now and not jump to conclusions with Alejandro Garnacho for a moment. I understand he's been a bit unprofessional at times. Absolutely, he has. But he's young. Marcus Rashford is 27 years of age. Garnacho is 19. All right. I'm not going to be in any hurry to if in 2 years' time these kind of things are still happening with Garnacho, and he's liking tweets that are criticising his teammates, then, we can say, all right, maybe it's time to cut losses with this guy as well. But for now, let's all just take a moment. We don't want to get the pitchforks out and run Garnacho down the same road that we've been running Rashford down for the last 18 months. We don't want to do that, he must have found a club already by it's sounding. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what, to be honest with you. Look, his agents are definitely going to be putting the word out there. They're going to be speaking with clubs. They're going to be getting in contact saying, what are your interests? What potentially is, the fee you could pay, the salary you could potentially pay, all of these kind of things. But I mean, it's disappointing, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, I think Marcus Rashford has probably been misunderstood a little bit at times as well. I mean, I seen a report earlier on suggesting that when Rashford signed his extension at United, or his new contract at United, he was promised that a certain calibre of players would be brought in, to go and challenge for the Premier League title. And that hasn't been lived up to either, you would have to say. Especially under the old regime with Murta and, Ed Woodward and all these type of guys. And I think maybe there's an argument as well for just bad timing. New ownership comes in, things start to improve behind the scenes. We start to recruit well, but Marcus Rashford can't get out of the slump that he was in before the new ownership came in. And it's a shame, because if the new ownership maybe came in the year Marcus Rashford was scoring 30 goals, and then we, went out and put the likes of De Ligt and Mazraoui and Ugarte and Yoro into the team on the back of Rashford scoring 30 goals, we mightn't be talking about this. We might be talking about a Rashford who's, continued on. But, what happened the season after? Injuries, poor performances, poor transfer window. The list goes on and on and on. So yeah, I mean, look, it's a shame, and it's something that, I wish it didn't get to this stage, to be honest with you. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, Finn has a good point as well. He said he has jumped before he was pushed. And maybe that is the case, preserving his reputation as well and trying to get out in front of this thing. Like I said, Rashford has always had a good PR team around him. Always. So the fact that he's getting out ahead of this and getting his statements out there and his opinions out there and his words out there, his spin on it, I think is it's how you play the game, isn't it? Because he understands, and it is understandable, he's going to have a career after Manchester United, whether that be Juventus, whether it be Saudi Arabia, whether it be Bayern Munich. I don't know where he's going to go, Chelsea, Arsenal, wherever the case may be. He's going to have a career after it. So him getting out ahead of the negativity, as quickly as he possibly can, he's got to look after himself. You know what I mean? And I understand that. I do understand that he's got to look after himself, because I think the majority of us would do the same, to be quite honest with you. We would do the same. If the club that I was playing for and I grew up playing with, regardless of how poor, again, and I'm not saying that, Marcus Rashford, should be putting the blame on the club, because he's got his own downfalls that he should be taking, upon himself. But if I was playing for a club for 20 years and they came out and said, we're open to selling you, then I would go, all right, well, if you're open to selling me, I'm going to get my words out there. I'm going to be as positive as I possibly can. He's not being negative about Manchester United in anything he says. I mean, when he says here, if I know that the situation is already bad, I'm not going to make it worse. I've seen how other players have left in the past, and I don't want to be that person. When I leave, I'll make a statement, and it will be from me. He says, look, when I leave, it's going to be no hard feelings. You're not going to have any negative comments from me about Manchester United. That's me as a person. And that is testament to him. So there is a lot of negativity coming in, about saying, he doesn't work hard enough and so on and so forth. And maybe that is the case. And that is the case at times. But these statements and these words that he's come out and saying are not putting Manchester United in a bad light at all. He's coming out and saying, I think it's time for a new challenge. He's basically said, look, they said they're happy to move me on. I think it's time for a new challenge. Maybe him and the club sat down 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 days ago, and said, we've come to the end. Maybe that's been the case. And we're getting Manchester United saying it first. Maybe they sat down and they said to Rashford, look, we're going to put it out first that we're open to selling you, and in a day or two, you're entitled then to, have your interview. That could be the case. We don't know. It's just a shame that it's got to this stage. It really has, because, I go back to what I've said. I think, it would have been nice to have Rashford be the superstar. You know what I mean? But we move on. The ball keeps rolling. Like I said, I've mentioned it many times on this channel that we can't be sentimental FC. There's no sentimentality here. And if you're not pulling your weight, it's time to go. And bring in lads like Ahmad, and bring in lads like, Kobbie Mainoo, and, Mats Rowie, and Ugarte, and, Rasmus Højlund. These guys are the future of Manchester United, because they want it. They're hungry for it. And it's fair to say that since this season, when he was doing this an awful lot, pointing to his head, since then, there hasn't been a lot of hunger or desire by Marcus Rashford, for whatever reason. I don't think that's down to him not loving Manchester United anymore or anything like that. I think it's just down to whatever's going on in his own life. You know what I mean? Finn says, I don't really want to see him stay in the Prem. Chelsea could be smelling about after Mudryk got done for doping. Maybe so. Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. But look, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, when you look at it, we're on the 17th of December now. The transfer window opens 2 weeks tomorrow. So, I mean, we'll know soon enough whether there's going to be interest, and reports will start to generate now over the next couple of weeks. Absolutely they will. Guys, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Smash a like on the video if you haven't done so. We've only hit 11 likes, so if you can, please give a thumbs up. It does help the channel out an awful lot. YouTube will see it, they'll push it out to more people, and it'll help the channel. So please do hit that like button. Appreciate the support as well, guys. Welcome to Young Sauce, the new channel member. Absolutely appreciate it. And thanks for the super chats as well there from Dylan. Appreciate the support as always, guys. Absolute legends in the chat. Like I said, please do smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Trying to hit 13,000 subscribers by the new year. We're about 400 off, so if you're new, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow night with I'll keep an eye out for the match preview, which is coming tomorrow as well, guys, around lunchtime for the Spurs game. Turn on the notification bell if you haven't done so, guys. Just click the bell underneath the video, click all, and as soon as we go live or we upload a new video, you'll be notified on your phone. Thanks for watching, guys. Rashford United looks like it's done and dusted. Talk to you tomorrow. Take it easy.